From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2183. These are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. At production time, Hurricane Dorian was raking Grand Bahama Island with sustained winds of 155 miles an hour and was creeping west at 1 mile per hour towards Palm Beach, Florida. This is an active story, and we'll have updates on the next Amateur Radio Newsline Report. We turn now to South India, where floods wiped out all critical modes of communication except for one: amateur radio.
The Malabar Amateur Radio Society in India reports that its repeater system provided critical connections in some parts of the Indian state of Kerala in early August after a landslide disrupted all communication lines throughout the region, including mobile phone servers. The state had been hard hit by flooding, and even the radio system used by local police had failed. The Ham Radio Society told the Hindu newspaper that when word of the landslide hit, the communications cut-off was anticipated. Fortunately, the local amateurs had participated in a number of disaster management drills and were prepared. The Malabar Amateur Radio Society told the newspaper that this was a repeat of the kind of support the Hams provided during the 2018 floods. The Malabar Amateur Radio Society has other good news to report. The group will be setting up what's believed to be India's first digital voice repeater station utilising D-Star. The solar-powered station is expected to become a crucial part of the group's strategy the next time disaster strikes the region. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm John Williams, VK4JJW.
Some new hams in Romania are celebrating the completion of their first experience with Summits on the Air, and it was a success.
On a summit in Romania in mid-August, the newly licensed young hams of the YO6KGS radio club savoured the first falling stars of the Perseids meteor shower, and the next day something equally stellar, the first Summit on the Air experience. With teachers from their school, including Adrian Bociu, YO5IA, guiding them, the teenagers learned about local flora at a nature reserve in eastern Transylvania, heard about meteor scatter and pursued SOTA contacts on 20 metres, as well as UHF and VHF, over the course of 4 days. They learned how properly to set up their antennas and make SOTA contacts. They also said that the companionship, good humour and lessons they'd learned had made the experience memorable. So memorable, in fact, that they're hoping to do it all over again. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Hams in New Zealand are preparing to scale the summits there to honor a very special silent key for the second year in a row.
Andrew White, ZL3CC, took pleasure in combining two things he considered some of the best things in his life: amateur radio and the beautiful outdoor landscape of New Zealand. The Christchurch resident fully embraced these activities through the awards program known as Summits on the Air, activating Mount Sinclair, Coronet Peak and Cobb Ridge amongst scores of others. After he became a silent key unexpectedly in 2018, New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters proclaimed that the Saturday after his birthday was to be known as Andrew White Memorial SOTA Activity Day, to honour his work and his contributions. This year's event, the second such activity, is taking place on the 14th of September. NZART's Vice President, Warren Harris, ZL2AJ, noted in a recent NZART podcast that the purpose of the day is to get out on a summit in the same spirit as Andrew himself did and to remember this silent key. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With John Williams, VK4JJW, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.